With that, we bring in State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce. Tammy, great to have you with us. Thank you for joining me today. You know, it's obvious that there is a serious hunger problem that is playing out and that the president has been moved by this situation. There are reports as well that the First Lady has been moved by what's happening here and wants very much to see the United States and other countries help.
Yes, you know, obviously they're humanitarians. The president has made clear from his first day in this second term that he wants to create peace. He wants to deal with ceasefires, to get durable peace in the variety of areas in the world that have been in conflict. Clearly, the Gaza situation he's been very vocal about. The images we're seeing, of course, are horrible. It is a dynamic, though, that with Hamas, they rely on suffering. They rely on perpetual terrorism to maintain their control and power. The president and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have been committed to changing that dynamic. The president said months ago that there had to be new ideas in order to keep this from doing this wash, rinse, and repeat framework of horror and carnage. And this is part of it. Obviously, people have got to get fed. But in the meantime, Hamas refuses to put down its weapons, refuses to release the hostages, which could stop all of this in a moment. But that won't stop us from easing the pain, from getting food in. The United States and certainly various partners have been working on how to do this. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has shown that you can get food in to this war zone area to the people who need it. And now it's time for more people to join within that framework, and the president wants to make that happen.
Well, good to see these parachutes going in. We just hope they get to the people who need them the most once they get on the ground in Gaza. I want to get two quick topics in here with you, Tammy, if I may. The first, the president's shrinking of the timeline for Putin. Clearly, he's had enough of the back and forth. He says 10 to 12 days. Medvedev says, you know, we're not Israel, we're not Iran, essentially. Don't give us these deadlines. We don't care. I'm summarizing what he said, but what do you say to that at the State Department?
Well, it's clear that the president has been patient. The Secretary of State has been patient. We've had negotiations. The president was the first person to bring everyone to the table after 3 years of war. And now it's obvious he gave him enough time. It's clear that the president feels that he must move on to another framework, talking about sanctions or even secondary sanctions. He, in his comments earlier today in Scotland, he has expressed his frustration over Putin many times over the last few months. And it's, you know, President Trump has patience, but he's also a realist, and he wants this particular carnage framework to end. It cannot be won militarily. He's tired of what he described as being tapped along, and now we're going to see some action. And the Russians, what they think, I think, matters, I think, quite a bit less than what President Trump thinks and the actions that he'll take.
Yeah, I mean, he's been isolating Putin in a number of ways with the increase in spending at NATO and now this energy deal. I want to ask you a very quick question before we go here, Tammy.
Yes.
Two individuals, one who works for the Commerce Department, one who works for Wells Fargo, are under an exit ban. They're told that they cannot leave China, and they're not the only ones in this situation. What is the State Department doing to bring these individuals home?
Well, one thing I've learned now being on this end of the framework as opposed to on television in your seat, as an example, is I can't speculate or reveal the nature of any kinds of negotiations or diplomatic conversations in dealing with this issue. I can tell you this, though, that obviously we're aware of the situation. We've got the best diplomats, the best country in the world here addressing the nature of this, and we'll, of course, deal with it and get our Americans home. But in the meantime, we're aware of it and we're working on it.
All right. We know the president is hoping to have a substantive discussion with President Xi. And we know that Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is in negotiations with China as well.
That's right.
We hope that no American is under an exit ban to leave the country of China. I know you do too. Tammy, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Good to have you here today. Thanks.
Sure.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.